you're kind of living in the reality that is a direct consequence of the actions that you've taken, which are again a result of your habits, and your habits are the result of your beliefs, which are formed by your thoughts that are deeply rooted in your conscious and your unconscious.
Today we're diving into the mind of multidisciplinary creator Dagye, a designer, musical artist, businessman, and entrepreneur. Throughout his life, he's founded 3 different brands: Dagye Studios, Genius Bar Atelier, and Adwa, which stands for A Day Without Angst. He's a man with a strong sense of mission and drive, and an obsession with growth, as he's a strong believer in doing the work today.
So you're not afraid of tomorrow?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Can you give us a little bit of an introduction to yourself, who you are, and to your brand, A Day Without Angst?
So my name's Dagye. I'm from London, originally from Germany. So I've been on a little bit of a journey.
Yeah.
So I was born in Germany, and then my family moved to the UK.
Yeah.
I've been out there ever since. And A Day Without Angst is kind of an evolution of the journey that I've been on. I kind of didn't study fashion. I kind of went to uni to just make my family happy. I was doing a course completely unrelated.
Yeah.
I just couldn't stand it, and I dropped out.
What did you study?
Sports science.
Okay.
So I used to play football. I used to play football, and that was kind of the only thing I was interested in.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'll just fake do that. And but the clothes were just, I was obsessed with the clothes, man. I was just infected. My brain was just infected with the clothes. I'm talking about 2012, 2013. So I was obsessed with Hedi Slimane, Saint Laurent. I was obsessed with Balmain, so the Kanin era, Balmain.
Yeah.
I was obsessed with, Jun Takahashi, Undercover, stuff like that, just very young. And I kind of call it the golden age.
Yeah.
I know most people will probably say the golden age is the 90s or something, but that's not really relevant to me.
For you, that's what inspires you the most.
That's what was yo, this shit is crazy. When it was all really inaccessible, way before Grailed.
Yeah.
I was on this page, I don't know if you ever heard of it, called Retro Superfood Drop.
Yeah.
It was a forum. Right? I bought some dunks actually off a guy in Singapore, some Rick dunks. I remember just emailing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that kind of just made me fall in love with just the world of fashion. Just kind of the whole grunge, like chic grunge kind of stuff. It just grabbed me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when I dropped out, I was already kind of dabbling in customizing a few little things on the gram and stuff like that. And I just had this inner compulsion that I can do this shit. The shit I felt like I can do.
Yeah.
So from then I kind of dropped out, and I just started slowly building up. I was customizing jeans at the time first, kind of made a name from that.
Yeah.
I had a small project before called Dagye Studios, which did really well. I was selling jeans to Young Thug and Offset and people like that back in 2017 when people wasn't really doing it.
Yeah.
It just evolved, and I just kind of kept at it because I had these brands as my benchmark. I always kind of knew where I want to take it to, and kind of what it takes, and the kind of materials I want to be using and stuff like that. And it's been a journey, man. And I launched A Day Without Angst in 2022.
Okay.
And this is kind of the evolution of the brand that I had when I was a little bit younger. I closed that. I finished it. I finished that around 2019. Went back to the drawing board to learn a lot more about the business, a lot more about manufacturing, things like that nature.
Because that's important.
So important.
Yeah.
There's such a distance between idea and realization of idea.
Yeah. Yeah, there is. Yeah.
And from the outside looking, it's designer sounds so cool. Just come up with ideas and then it just magically appears. But
no, that's not true. Yeah. It takes so much time and energy and devotion. You have to really love it. If
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you mentioned that you had this other brand before, and you learned a lot from that one.
Yeah.
And it helped shape what this brand is now.
Exactly.
Right? So what advice would you give yourself if you were starting over, a young Dagye, before Dagye Studios? At the point that you're at now, you've passed so many trials, so many different barriers that you've just gone past through. What would you tell yourself, a younger self, as advice to be like, yo, do this, like don't fuck up here type of thing?
I would say, you know, the younger me already, I always had like a very strong identity, like as I said, of what I liked and what was kind of drawn to.
Yeah.
So because of that, I feel like I would advise my younger self, like, don't focus too much on like, you know, dressing nice and the outfits and the inspiration and things like that. After quite a short while, you kind of know what you like, you know what you're into, you kind of know what you want to make. I feel like the energy needs to be spent in learning the business. And I feel like there's truly a massive difference between fashion and the fashion business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And young me, naive and stuff like that, no idea.
You're not looking at the business.
Not looking at that, you know?
Well, a big thing is that there's not much guidance with the business side either. Like, yeah, specifically about the business, like what would you tell yourself, like, oh, watch out for this when doing business?
I would say, for example, like, you know, what I'd even tell the younger generation, much more than even in that, it obviously includes the younger me, is like, when you start going into like cut and sew production, it's so easy to like, you know, get fat eyes and be like, oh, I want to do this and I want to do that and I want to do this and I want to do that. And things really cost money, you know? Things really cost money. And you need to really be like meticulous of like your planning and making sure that what you're doing is going to make sense for furthering the business and furthering the mission, you know what I mean? Like, one of the things I've been telling to a lot of like my younger friends, or even one of my boys that used to work for me now, he's gone on to start his own brand now. So he's starting his journey. And I said to him, you know, things like, for example, if you're making a simple t-shirt, like the t-shirts that you kind of see over there, for example, don't kill yourself and go and make it cut and sew just because it's like an ego thing that everyone's kind of talking about. If there's literally, as you guys know, there's endless companies now that their sole purpose is to make blanks and make really good blanks. You know what I mean? And with that, for example, it allows your buy-in to be way less. There's no minimum order quantity, for example. So if you're a young designer and you're starting a brand and you know you haven't really got the clientele yet, you haven't got the motion yet, go use the blank where you can buy it by the single. As opposed to using the £2,000 or £3,000 that you might have saved up from working hard, and then now you're just gonna go produce t-shirts that have the exact same cut. There's nothing different about the seams. None of that. And then you invest your money in that. Whereas my advice would be to invest that money into actually making something worth making. You know, whether it be a jacket, whether it be you know, a really cool pair of trousers. And then the t-shirt, which to me, I kind of see t-shirts a lot like a walking advertising board.
It is,
You know? Like, use things that are there and available for you. You know, like it's about leverage. Like again, it's business, as I said. So you got to leverage things to make things make sense.
Of course. You mentioned the mission. Is there a specific mission that is behind your brand?
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, I feel that I've never had a job. I've never actually had a job, you know what I mean? Like, I had like part-time ones when I was in sixth form, which is like high school, like end of high school. But in terms of like in my adult life, even from dropping out of uni, I've never I've never had a job. And I've always kind of been like the black sheep, like in my family, in my school, kind of in my environment, you know, like kind of different, problematic, problematic, quite aggressive, quite confrontational, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. So because of that, I've had to bump my head a lot. On this journey. Like, it's kind of funny because my journey in the brand has kind of been synonymous with my journey just in life. You know what I mean? Like, most of my life lessons I learned through the pursuit of my career, through the pursuit of my brand. You know what I mean? You know, in that journey, as I said, there's so many things that I had to learn and unlearn. You know, there's a lot of ways that I was like standing in my own way. And, you know, it's worked out in quite a poetic way, because it's almost like, to kind of advance in the business and move further, I had to go back and kind of do a lot of fixing in myself in order to be competent and able enough to make that thing happen. So kind of along that way is where it's all one, my whole life is one thing. It kind of started being like, yo, like, this brand has kind of been the driving force behind my self-improvement. You know what I mean? My journey of like self-discovery and self-improvement.
Because all work works.
That's cool.
If it's not working for you, it's working. is working on
you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
And that's what this whole thing has been about.
Yeah, it's a mentality.
It's been a whole mentality. Because like I said, because if you like myself, like I said, I never had a job, and I kind of took myself out of a lot of things. Like, like you kind of, when you I dropped out of uni, I didn't have a job, and as much as I knew that those things weren't for me. I understand that when people go do those things, you learn a lot of life skills in these things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Things to do, things not to do, network, all this type of stuff.
Right.
So where I completely kind of took myself out of that, it was really on me to kind of learn and discover that myself. You know what I mean? And kind of within all of that, the lessons along the way, I kind of what have now turned into the Agile philosophy, which is kind of like the philosophy that's kind of coming with the brand, and like, people are coming here and they're talking about it, and people are like, this is changing my life and stuff like that. And it's the stuff that I had to learn on the pursuit of making this work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's like, you're not going to make a high-end luxury brand when you have no background anywhere with nothing to do with it. You've got no funds, you have none of these things. To make that happen, you're going to have to transform and really become the guy that's capable of doing
Of course. So I know that philosophy is a big inspiration for your design and for your work. But I want to kind of hear it from your words. What is the philosophy behind A Day Without Angst?
So A Day Without Angst is really, in a nutshell, it's doing the work today so you're not afraid of tomorrow. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of the insecurity that is just all over the world and things of that nature, it's just from a lack of preparation, and it's just and a lack of knowledge as well. You know, like when like knowledge is the light. Yeah. And when there's no knowledge, it's a dark room, and most people are scared of the dark. Like we're all scared of the dark. You know what I mean? So it's like, I feel the answer to a lot of the problems that the world faces is that if you go and do the work on yourself, for yourself, you will become the person that you need to be, and you'll no longer be afraid. And I feel like if you kill the fear in your heart, all of a sudden the world opens up to you, and you see the world completely different. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I feel like even this conversation that we're having right now, it's because I can tell that you're a secure person. I can see it, I can feel it, and I'm a secure person. I can feel it. So I'm not pandering to your points. You're not going to pander to my points. Right. I'm not really going to let you influence me into doing some stupid shit. Right. And vice versa. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because you're prepared. Right. Because I know you've probably watched endless interviews. You've probably done your research. You've probably done your 10,000 hours. You know what I mean? And I feel like if we all did that, the world would just be a much better place. Yeah. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Most definitely. I mean, one of the things that I really respect about you is like your mentality is strong. Yeah. And it's like this mental mentality that's like not only a part of like your clothing brand, but it's part of your personal brand also.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it's inspiring to see like you're pushing it towards your community that's actually wearing your clothes and everything, because that's what actually moves the needle, what moves the soul. Like it's not like just the fact that the garment is hard, right?
Yeah, because how many hard clothes are there in the world? There's so many hard.
There's too many.
There's too many hard clothes in the world. Yeah. So it's like at some point we need something different, you know? Yeah. Like and that's what I really realized. And it's funny because I kind of was having a lot of these initial thoughts quite a few years ago. Yeah. But I don't know what it was. It was my ego or whatever it was that was kind of like stopping me from following through on what that thought was. Yeah. And it's like some things you just can't run away from. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's like, as I said, as I do more and more, and it just became clear and apparent to me that, what's worked for me, I must share it with the world, because someone might need it. Mm-hmm. And now that I'm doing it, I'm realizing a lot of people need it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what actually will change people's lives.
Exactly.
And that's what matters at the end of the day.
That's what matters. Yeah. We're all trying to do some shit. Yeah. That we're all not necessarily in the place that we want to be. We all would like to be more resilient. We all would like to be more confident. Yeah. We'd all like to be more outgoing and able to communicate our ideas and our thoughts and our feelings. Mm-hmm. So it's like, we're all in it together type shit. So it's like, if we can empower each other, that's what makes it, that's what it's about. If you empower each other, like, you know what I mean?
That's the mentality,
That's what it's about, bro. Yeah. It's like, if everyone's like teed up, if everyone's on job, it makes everything a better place. As I said, you know what I mean? Like, that's what it is. Like, and like I said, once I became like the proof for myself, I'm like, okay, cool, I know what this is. I know this is the truth.
I know it's like an ever continuous journey of finding that truth and like exploring these different philosophies, right? But what made you decide that through clothing was going to be like your medium to push these type of ideas?
No, that wasn't actually ever the thought, because I've been making, as I said, I've been making clothes for however long,
Yeah.
and it never occurred to me that, okay, I'm gonna use clothes, and then at some point I'm gonna use that for that. It wasn't even like that.
Right.
It was the fact that I make clothes.
Mm-hmm.
What I want to do for the rest of my life is make clothes. Like, this is my passion. This is like, I'm an artist. This is what I want to do.
Right.
And the philosophy was what I was doing on my personal self, my personal work on myself, in order to, you know, further the brand, further what I can do with the brand. And on top of that, I have 2 brands. I don't even have this brand. I have another brand as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew that the workload that I'm going to take on is damn near insane. So it was like, you know, I need to up just my resilience. I need to up my stress tolerance. Lots of things. So that's even when the gym kicked in. The gym, really, I started the gym nothing with no reason really in my body. I've always been comfortable in my body. It was actually so I can up my stress tolerance.
Yeah.
That's really why I did it. I knew I needed to get even tougher.
Yeah.
And then with the philosophy, as I said, I knew that I wanted to keep improving. I knew that I wanted to live a certain type of life. And I knew that, you know, it's gonna take for me to kind of transform. And then, you know, we're kind of in the world now where, as you guys know, we're kind of in the video content kind of world. Everyone's kind of coming up with something.
Yeah.
And just like anything, you have to evolve, you know. So I'm
Yeah.
looking around, seeing what's going on. I'm seeing the TikTok. I'm seeing, you know, YouTube's been doing its thing. So I'm just seeing that everything is kind of going to an MP4 format. Everything's video format.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times I was kind of looking around and I was like, a lot of the things that other people are doing, I can't see myself doing. It's just not me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even a video of like all the kids do the like get ready with me now, like they get in front of the camera in their boxes and they're like put their outfit on.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't do that. I don't feel comfortable doing it.
No, you rent paid.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not. It's not me. Like, and if I was to try and do that, it'd be me forcing it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I said, you know, if the world's moving towards it and before, like, if you don't get with it, you're gonna get left behind.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to a point where I was kind of thinking, like, how can I kind of evolve my thing in a way that's authentic to me?
Right.
And then I don't know what it was. One day it just struck me. I was like, you know what? Like, the stuff that you do, because even within my friends and like my real like personal circle, that's who I am. I'm the person that people go to for advice, like stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this is what people are like. I didn't know you was this intelligent or quote unquote whatever. I'm like, I just don't really parade it to the world. This is just what I do for me.
Yeah.
So after a while, I was like, something in me compelled me just to pick up the phone one time and talking to the camera about whatever I was maybe thinking about that day or what I'd been studying that day. Yeah. And I did in it connected, and I was like, of course, that's what I'm gonna do. That's gonna be my way of doing the MP4 thing.
Yeah. So
you know,
it was like already written before the start. It was just it had the time.
That's what it was. Yeah, like, literally that.
Yeah. That's really cool.
Yeah, like there was no plan. There was like no like strategy. Like, okay, if I do this, I'm gonna do it.
Because it's true to you. It's not like some fake.
Yeah, which is why I can do these like 5 or 6 minute videos talking with no interruptions. Like you see, there's no edit in some of them. I'm literally just talking. It's because when you live it,
you're spitting.
It's easy.
Yeah. So you mentioned empowering people. Yeah. Like this kind of mentality, I think, is somewhat rare, especially like in this industry. And creatives, like sometimes it can be so competitive that it's almost like crabs in a bucket trying to like pull you down type of thing.
For sure.
But I think we could flip it completely. Like, the question is how. Like, what are some ideas on like how we can truly like community like empower each other?
Yeah, I mean, I guess probably just an example would be just how I'm doing it. You know, like I'm walking down the street with one of my other homies to come back here. Yeah, a guy stops me in the street. Yo, Dagye, what's up? Da, 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 da. He's like, he pulled up. He did his 50 press ups, and you know, I told people that if you do your press ups, I'm gonna give you a vest. Yeah. And it's just shit like that, you know. We've had many people pull up here today to come and do that. And it's like, I guess it's just being the example. Yeah. Being the example for one. And then it's like, if you know that people, if you're living the life that other people want to live, or people look up to you, then I feel like it's kind of like up to you to kind of invite them into your world, the way I have, in a way that is fitting, and make them feel like, damn, I can kind of do this. I can kind of do this shit too, you know what I mean? 100%. And I think that's kind of how you do it. I can't really... Yeah, that's really how, from me, I've just been the example. I'm like, okay, cool, I'm going to do this. Yeah. And I feel like if you do something with enough conviction and you're authentic enough about it, those that are meant to like connect with it, they do. Yeah. They just naturally, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because like, I've never seen a brand do that. Like, yo, do these many push-ups, you get it free stuff.
Like, I mean, because like, again, like, the kind of the popular thing that everyone's doing now, I've been doing, I'd say for like the last 2-3 years now, and I'd say it's like started and championed by Cortez. Shouts out the guys. Is the whole kind of like me up in central London and you can run and chase me for some t-shirts again. But again, for me personally, that's not my thing.
That's not you, yeah.
I wouldn't do that, and I probably wouldn't even recommend it. It was my little brother. I'd be like, nah, that's not agile philosophy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm talking on my side of
that's
things.
theirs.
That's their thing.
Yeah.
That's his thing.
Yeah.
Hence why it fits the brand. It fits the whole thing. You know what I mean? Whereas like, okay, cool. How can I give back to my community without it being just for free? Like, you know what I mean? Do something. But the thing that I'm making you do is not actually for me. It's actually for you.
Yeah, it's sharing knowledge.
It's for you.
And it's being active.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
do that exercise, like it. Yeah, can,
you know what I mean?
It can change your life.
It can change your life. It real life can change your life.
Yeah.
And people messaging me every day. I have people messaging me every day, like, yo, this shit has changed my life. Like, I've been training every single day now.
Yeah.
And that, because I know what it's done for me. So I know if it's what it's done for me, I know it's going to do the same thing for at least some people.
That's real.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's what it's about, because I feel like, the world is running insecurity. It is. Like, people make money. Majority of money gets made through you being insecure. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're gonna buy that t-shirt or whatever like that because you don't feel worthy enough without it.
Wow, you flipping it on
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's why fashion is so big. That's why makeup is so
big. Why is makeup so big?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Why is everybody buying cars they can't afford? You know what I'm saying? It's only one word: insecurity.
Yeah.
You feel me? So quote unquote, what I'm doing right now actually probably goes against me.
Yeah.
Because I'm like trying to make you secure, and making you secure would essentially mean that you don't need all this stuff.
Yeah.
But I prefer that way.
Armor type.
That's what it is, because I don't want losers. I don't want losers. I don't want a loser community. And a lot of people's communities are losers. But I have to be objective about
it. I don't think people like approach it like this because of this kind of idea of like, oh, I'm gonna lose the customer. But I think at the end of the day, if it's true, your conviction, it's gonna come back to you.
It'll come back. And that's why I'm confident in that. That's the type of guy I am.
Yeah.
I'm confident that I can tell you the truth. I can be real with you.
Yeah.
That's the type I am. I'm gonna, like, even in my relationship and as a friend, whatever like that, my whole thing is like, yo, I'm gonna give you the tools to do it on your own. Yeah. I'm gonna basically give you the tools to not need me. And if it's real, you'll still fuck with me the same way. You'll fuck with me the same way.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that. And there's been times where people have taken it and they run with it. But bro, when you have a real abundance, like a real inner abundance and a real abundance mindset.
That's a mindset,
Yeah, I don't take no losses. I don't take losses for it. I don't.
Yeah. And you fulfilled what you needed to do in that purpose.
Yeah. And it's always gonna come back.
Life. Yeah.
Yeah, like the universe is always gonna pay it forward. Yeah. So I don't take losses.
That's beautiful.
And that's really what it is with me. Like, I'm trying to like empower my people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's what it's
whether
about.
you buy just a vest, whether you buy a £1,500 jacket, I don't really mind. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not so caught up on it. I'm more caught up in, like, I gave you a feeling. I positively impacted you, and you can pay it forward to someone else too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm doing my little bit in the world.
Yeah. Amazing. So with this idea of empowering people with truth, what would be one message that you would give out there to the world, like, to try to, like, plant that little seed?
I'd say two things.
Yeah.
I'd say nobody's coming to save you. Nobody.
Right.
Absolutely nobody's coming to save you.
Yeah. That victim mentality doesn't work.
Like, it does not work. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, nobody's coming to save you.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna fuck your shit up, it's gonna be on you.
Yeah.
You know, we all have to blame, like, shift the blame and all that type of stuff. But at the end of the day, you're still gonna have to look in the mirror, and when there's nobody else around, you will know it was all me. Like, I did this to myself.
Yeah.
And the second thing I'd say is that nobody cares as much as you think they care. You know what I mean? So we spend all this time thinking, no, I don't want to start this, or I don't want to do that, because bro,
what are they gonna think? What are they gonna say?
Bro, everyone's focused on their own lives. Everyone's got their own insecurities to deal with.
Yeah.
Everyone's got their own.
Yeah.
You're thinking that person's looking at you, but they're thinking that the other person's looking at them. Yeah. Nobody's got time, you know what I mean? Yeah. So just that thing that you, like, procrastinate to start, just do it.
Yeah, just fucking go for it.
Fucking go for it.
Post that video.
Yeah. Fuck it.
Literally.
Like, you know what I mean? Fuck it, bro. Like, a lot of shit I'm doing now, like, everyone's eating up, like, the gym shit, bro. you can see my before and after my shit. I was completely like, I had nothing.
Yeah.
My chest was like on negative, but I was in there the same way I'm posting now. I was posting right at the start.
Right.
You have to be a beginner to become a master. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's the same with everything. Like, that's just how it goes.
Yeah.
So it's like, don't be afraid, man. Ain't nothing to be afraid of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for doing this, man.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah. Yeah. You spit some facts.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm
I
glad.
appreciate it.
I appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, guys.